Hello, I'm George Barlow. Welcome to another tutorial on using the Cloud Harbor Business Operations Platform, or BOP. In this session we will begin to learn about how to create forms called user interface documents on our BOP. Let's begin by creating a new form or user interface. Right-click the Forms folder and select New Other. This displays all the document types you have permission to create in your workspace. Scroll down and select User Interface. This displays the user interface or Forms Designer. Get ready for real power forms design. Open the Workspace Explorer and then the Web Services folder. Navigate to the Web Services interface. Select the Get Partners object, singular, Web Service and drag it to the canvas. A dialog asks if we want to generate a form for input, output, or both. Let's check both and then click OK. Instantly, a form is generated for the Web Service data model we created in Tutorial 2, with a place for the key input and all the fields in the database record. Let's name this form as Generated Partners Object and click Save. This form will work just as it is, but it isn't very attractive. Let's do something about that. We'll make the input box smaller by grabbing the edge and dragging it. Same with the output box. Let's save the form again and then click the Preview button. Cloud Harbor automatically publishes a runtime version of the form and then displays it. The input field is pre-populated with the first key from the database, and if you click on the button, Partner ID 1 is instantly displayed. Notice also that there are live navigation, search, selection, and save buttons on the form. If we click the next arrow button, Cloud Harbor displays the next record in the table. It's Partner ID 2. We can continue to move through the data records. We could also put in any key in the input box to display that record. Now let's make some more improvements to the form. We can change the heading by double-clicking it. We can change any of the text fields this way. Let's make the fields a bit more realistic in size and save the form. Now let's preview it again. As you can see, all our changes have been reflected in the runtime form. Now for even more power. We click through all 12 partners in our database. And then click the plus or add record button. The form is now blanked out and ready to add a new record or row to our database table. All this without any programming whatsoever. Let's add partner 13. We fill in the fields. And press the Save button. The record's now been added to our database. Let's press the first record arrow to go back to partner ID 1. Take a look at a couple of records, and then press the last row record. Our new record is in the database. In addition to supporting single records, the Cloud Harbor BOP also supports creating lists of records. Now let's create another form. Right-click on the Forms folder and select the new user interface. The designer pops up. Go back to the Workspace Explorer Web Services and drag and drop Get Partner Objects, plural, on the canvas. Select both input and output again and click OK. Once again, a form is generated instantly, but this time the input box has two keys, a From ID and a To ID, and the output box is a grid with rows for the records and columns for the fields. Let's save this form as Generated Partners Objects. Whoops, slightly misspelled. Now clean up the input area a little. We can also change the column names to something more user-friendly if we like. Double-click on the header and type in the new name. We could also drag the bottom of the box to show as many rows as we want. We can also drag the columns to the width we want. And resize the whole grid. Many times there will be more fields in a data record than you want or need to show. Right-click the grid and select the column chooser. This displays a list of all the columns available. You can then turn on and off as you like. For example, to remove the country column, we uncheck the box and the column disappears from the grid. Clicking it again returns the display. Now let's save our form and preview it. So initially, the entire list is selected. Clicking the Input button displays the first set of records that fit on our grid. In this case, the first 5. Our added lucky record number 13 is still there.